Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I am glad you're here. Hey, it's Phil Gerbishak. If you can hear me and you can see my crazy self on the beach, drop me a note in the chat and just say, hey, Phil, I hear and I see you, or whatever you want to do. We're going to get started in about 60 seconds here. What's up, Rob Ferre? Hey, Jody O'Brien. Dan, good to see you and glad you see and hear me. Hey, Daniel, fantastic. Good, good, good. So cool. So we're going to get started here. I've got some stuff I want to share. LinkedIn has changed quite a bit in the last couple of quarters. So let's make sure that you do not get left behind. Super, super important, right? Lots of stuff has changed. So with that, right, let's first start with your profile. What's changed in your profile? Well, featured has changed. They've added featured. They changed some features on profile pictures for the visibility, and they added the audio pronunciation to your name. So for those of you that have an easy name like Gerbishak, wait, that's not an easy name. Like Brock, yeah, like Terry Brock. Yeah, that's good, right? That you don't need that, but maybe for others of us, we do. Okay, so with that, let's first talk about featured. LinkedIn launched featured, about 6 months ago. It's rolled out to just about everybody that I have seen, and it is available there instead of rich media and instead of articles. I used to talk about how you want to have articles on LinkedIn. Not that you still can't have them, but they used to leave them on your profile by default. And now you get to pick what you want featured. And no longer do they have it rich media on the top of your profile in the about section. So this is what it looks like on my profile as of today, right? And to do that, some of you might not have it. If you do, though, you want to click on the arrow on featured under the add profile section, and then you can pick and choose what you want. You see posts are there. Posts are those things you post as status updates to LinkedIn. Articles, right? Things that you would post to LinkedIn as an article previously, and they would be there by default. Now they're not. Links to anything external, could be videos, could be just about anything. And then media, if you wanted to actually upload anything directly to LinkedIn. I would recommend that you use posts, articles, and links. I wouldn't recommend that you use media, not in this section anyway. Posts are good, right? If you have a high-performing post, you could show that. If you have articles, you could link to that, and links, of course, you could link to that. And these are featured, right? They stay static on your profile. Really nice. I encourage you to add in your best and your brightest. And I say brightest because colors get folks' attention on LinkedIn, right? Because by default, LinkedIn is very kind of black and white and a little bit of LinkedIn blue. So adding your best and brightest get people's attention. That's your whole goal with that. Now, featured, this is what it looks like. And it says when you feature items, they'll show up here. So 2 or 5 or as many as you want, right? 2 typically will be enough for you, though. In the featured, you can use other ones throughout there. All right. So profile picture visibility. Profile picture visibility is a big one. I see a lot of people, they have a beautiful picture, maybe not as beautiful as mine, or maybe for some of you like Sima here, it is more beautiful than mine, but they don't have their visibility set. Now, this profile visibility allows you, if you're ever on a LinkedIn Live, and you're using something like a StreamYard, an Ecamm, or some third-party tool, it allows you to show up as your picture with your name and such, instead of just some LinkedIn user. So I encourage you to set this visibility. And a couple months ago, maybe even a year ago, LinkedIn changed this default visibility to be other than we'd want it to be. So let's make sure that it's set correctly. With that, you need to click on your picture on your profile page and then click on the little eyeball there that says visibility. I actually recommend you set it to public. That way, anybody who's not using LinkedIn, which are these third-party tools because they're not technically signed in to LinkedIn, they allow your picture to be seen. That way it can be even more visible. Also, as a speaker, as an author, as a thought leader, as a consultant, as a trainer, people are checking you out. They're trying to see, hey, does this match the person that I know from their website, from their videos, from the introduction I got, from the referral I got? Really important. So I recommend that you have it set to be public. And you set this again by clicking on your picture, click on the visibility button, and then go scroll all the way down. Really don't have to scroll much, but look all the way down, click on public, put the dot there, and then hit select. Makes it really, really simple. And oh, yes, I did, Sima. And thank you very much, Rob Ferre. I like the new headshot too. Been working on that for a long time. Finally got one that I like. Okay, so got that profile visibility set up there, that profile photo visibility, so we're not invisible, so that we're actually seen for the experts that we are. With that, LinkedIn also recently added name pronunciation. You need to be on the mobile to record this, but it is super helpful, not just for you, even if you have an easy name there, Terry Brock. If you have a harder name there, Rob Ferre or Phil Gerbishak, right? But as you're looking at other people's profiles, hopefully if they've added this, now you know if you're going to have a sales conversation with them, if you're going to have a chat with them, you can now see how their name is pronounced so you can pronounce it correctly. Really important, right? We know that culturally that's super important, right? So Sima down now. That's right, Sima. We got that one. But not everybody sees that, right? I've heard Sima, 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 whatever it is, right? So no, you want to pronounce people's names correctly. So with this makes it really easy. Simba. Yeah. Whatever it is, right? Make sure that it's correct. Make sure that it's correct. It's just a nice thing to do. So let people do the same for you, right? Record your name. So with that, in your mobile app, you go to your profile, you can record that, and that's where it shows up on your profile. You'll see it's there. The only thing you can do from your desktop is to trash it. Ugh, to trash it. So that means if you do trash it, if you don't save your profile, then it'll come back. I tested this earlier today, but if you want to record it for the first time, just go to your mobile app. There'll be the little button that says record name pronunciation, and boom, done. Really, really simple for you to do. And then when it shows up for viewers, if you look on their profile, if you see that little sound wave button, right? You see the sound logo with the little sound waves coming off of that. You will see that that is where it shows up. And you click on that and it will say it out loud for you. And it'll say it in your voice. Again, one more way to brand your voice so people can hear you, so they can hear you, so they can hear how your name is pronounced and your voice pronouncing your own name. New feature for LinkedIn. Helpful for people who are looking for us, helpful for us as we're talking to other people, as we're wanting to make sure that we pronounce people's names right and be fully polite and culturally aware with that. The next option, LinkedIn Live. So if you've got LinkedIn Live, drop me a note here in the comments if you have LinkedIn Live. I've had it for a while now, and I've been doing it for a while now. It's a great opportunity to get in front of the right people. So if you've got LinkedIn Live, drop me a note. And if you don't, you want it, drop me a note and say, hey, I want it. I want it. I want it. LinkedIn Live, their live feature, much like Facebook Live. Very simple. Dan Diamond wants it. Fantastic, Dan. Sima absolutely badly wants it. Understood. Absolutely. Todd applied once and didn't get it. Roger Rickard wants it. Rob's not sure, but he kind of wants it. Jody wants it. Tom wants it. Hey, gang, the best way to do it is actually to apply again. The only time you hear back is that if you got approved. So with that, I actually recommend you apply again. So how? Some thoughts on getting approved that I've talked with some folks at LinkedIn and how you can have a better chance of getting approved. So first, have a unique show idea. Think of this not just as live video, but think of this as a show, right? As a show. You'll notice down at the bottom of these slides, it says Inside Sales Show. That's going to be my new show that I do right now. It's just conversation with Phil Gerbishak. Going to morph. I'm going to also do the Inside Sales Show and then write it like you would your program description. Who's your audience? What are the benefits to your audience? And why are you the best person to deliver this show? Again, if you've been denied before, apply again. Apply again. There you go. Rob Ferre says gamification live with Rob Ferre. Absolutely, Rob. And then think about who would benefit from this, right? Who is the best audience for that? Why is Rob the best person to deliver this show? Make sure you say that in your application. Then share some samples. If you've been on anyone else's show, share those samples. They're going to ask for those. Share some examples of how you do a great job on live, not recorded, right? Anybody can take a 60-minute program and cut it into a 2-minute clip and find 2 minutes of good stuff that you do. Anybody can do that. But now you got to share live, right? Unedited, unmodified live. Okay. So with that, we're still on the photo slide. So that's fascinating. All right. So That's interesting. So Roger says we're still on the photo slide. Are we on the getting approved slide? Which slide do you see here? Are you on the thoughts on getting approved, or are you on the photo slide? Let me know. Approved. Fantastic. Good, good, good. So some thoughts on getting approved. Not sure, Raj, why you're there then, but please, interesting, Roger. I would say maybe refresh your browser and see that. Yeah. And then get good by being on other people's shows. Find a friend to help you. I have LinkedIn Live, and if you have something that you can share that's great for sales professionals, you know how to reach me. You know how to do that. Let's not pick on Roger, Tom, right? But if you're interested in that, right, I do talk to sales professionals, sales leaders, and other folks. So if that's something that you're interested in, you know how to reach out to me. The place is not in the chat here. You know how to get me. If you don't know how to get me, well, I'll show you how at the end. All right. So with that, right, get a friend to help you. Doesn't just have to be me. Hopefully I'm not the only friend that you have, or the only friend that you have that has LinkedIn Live. Okay, so with that, right, we talked about videos. You're a speaker, you're a trainer, you're a thought leader, you're an expert at what you do, right? Consultant, coach, whatever you call yourself. Still, LinkedIn offers up to 10 minutes of native video. What is native video? I get asked this all the time. Native video means you can't go to YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere else, TikTok, to get the video. You actually have to download it and then put it on LinkedIn. And thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate you saying that I'm the important friend. You're very sweet. So, right, up to 10 minutes of native video. It has to live on LinkedIn. Okay. Horizontal still works best. You know that is because most people watch your videos while they're sitting down. Where they're sitting, well, we can't show you that because that would change this from a G rating to an R rating. So let's not do that. But we know people are watching videos, they're sitting down. They're not watching it yet on TV, at least not on LinkedIn. Another best practice, make sure that you add captions to your video. If you use an iPhone, there's Apple Clips. If you use an Android, I'm sorry, there's an AutoCap tool. I don't think it's free. But you can certainly get that. And there are many web-based tools that allow you to do this, but do add captions and then add text to your post. So that means you have captions and you add the text to your post. The text to your post could be the transcript of the video, or it could be something else, but make sure that there's some text on your post. If they do really well, because it's a post, you can feature it on your profile. Remember, we talked about featured a couple slides back. You can absolutely feature it. So if you're using video, drop a link to your LinkedIn profile here, and you can absolutely tell us, hey, I do video, and here it is. And Sima asked, did I ever use Photo Booth? I've not, Sima. That's a great question. I should check that out. Maybe we can talk about that offline. Have not used Photo Booth. I've used Apple Clips. For that, I've used a native video. I've used Zoom. I've done lots of different video things, but I've not used Photo Booth. So great question. So if you're doing video, drop us a note there with your LinkedIn URL. If you don't know what it is, well, I encourage you, go to your linkedin.com. Maybe not right now, right? But know what it is. So there we go. There we go. Sima says, linkedin.com/in/Sima says. She posts video from time to time, but I need to be more consistent. Heck yes, me too. Absolutely. Consistency matters, right? You need a system. You need to do this over and over again. One time is not going to help you at all. So I encourage you, play around with it, right? If you're doing video, 10 minutes or less, upload the good stuff to your LinkedIn. Make that happen. Okay. So with that, next part here, connection request or enhance. Now, the number one thing that I hear from a lot of folks here is, hey, I forgot to send a note with my message, with my connection request. Crap. And now they get it and I can't pull it back and I look bad. Well, hey, guess what? LinkedIn heard you. They enhance them now. So now when you send a connection request, you hit the connect button and then it pops up and it says you can customize this invitation. LinkedIn members are more likely to accept invitation that include a personal note. And the great news is now if you click on add note, it will add a note. If you click on send now, well, it mostly sends now, and you can include that personal note and then send the invitation. Now, hey, now real quick, I want to share something with you about this send now or the connect. LinkedIn actually slightly delaying those. They're not in real time as you hit those. which means what they're trying to do, I believe, is they're trying to stop those automated bots that send hundreds of connections at a time, because now there's some random amount of time between connection requests. So they're harder to do and fake out with those automated bots. Okay. So this is a good thing for all of us human beings who don't do automation on LinkedIn. Take the time, add a note, customize the invitation, tell people why they should connect to you, why you can help them, something like that, right? So sending a connection request, very, very much enhanced. That's pretty cool. Now, after you send it, I really like this as well. After you send a connection request, it also pops up now, burp, people you might know. People you might know. So this is pretty cool. And you see that first person there. I know Sima probably knows who that is. I certainly know who that person is. She does not have the right profile visibility set. So she is the little blue invisible person there. Kevin does, and the other person has a different slogan or different logo there in their profile picture. So just know those are the three choices that people make. And which one, if you're thinking, I'm sending this and this is my profile, which one of those do you want to be as the sender of that to try to talk to a decision maker? Leave me a note in the comment there. Do you want to be the blue bobblehead? Do you want to be the person that looks real, or do you want to be the person with the slogan? Leave me a quick note here, and I'm going to talk a little bit here, right? Kim says real. Your goal, the real dude. Yeah. So the more that you think about this, the more obvious it is. I think the reason that these things happen is because people don't pause for even a beat and think, what's going on here? So all of you say the real person. Sema just called out the blue bobblehead. I know she doesn't really want to be that person. And Todd, as a headshot photographer, Todd definitely says the headshot. I'm quite sure that's pretty obvious. So does Dan, Nikki, Cynthia, Michael, and Kim, right? So make sure that your setting's right, because otherwise it isn't there. Again, after you send a connection request, take another beat on your desktop, on your mobile, and see, are any of those people you may know actually people you might know? And if they are, customize that request. Tell them why you should connect. Okay. Another cool feature for those of you that haven't seen this before, it's LinkedIn quote unquote voicemail. You have to use mobile to record it. You get up to 1 minute in length here. You can listen anywhere and it shows up in your conversation history. Ike wants to be the fake person. So I'm going to guess maybe Ike is the fake person. Ike, is that you? I can't tell. And Michael says clearly, right, I would not connect with someone that does not have a picture. Something to consider here, folks. So with that, right, LinkedIn voicemail, you need to use mobile to record. You get up to 1 minute in length. They can listen anywhere, desktop, mobile, iPad, doesn't matter. And it does show up in your conversation history, but you do not get a transcript, which means if you want to remember what the heck you said to that person, you have to re-listen to the message. Okay. And it shows up there indefinitely. So something to think about. Okay, as you're doing that, sending it's really easy. This is on my mobile device. You simply click on that little microphone down in the lower right corner, not below your keyboard though, the lower right corner below my name, below the last message you sent, right above the keyboard. Really, really important to understand that it is not the bottom keyboard. The bottom keyboard is actually, basically it's talk by text. So you can talk and it'll send text. But if you click that the higher up microphone, they look very much the same. It actually allows you to send a voice message, and you get up to 1 minute to do that. Now, I'm going to share one of my favorite tricks here. First, that the release to send, slide away, take your thumb off, your finger off, whatever you use to record that. That's important. But let me share a trick with you. This is really important. It's a great feature. I leave the send confirmation on, so I don't actually send an interrupted or a bad message. So it actually says send the voice message. And some people will check, don't show this for future voice messages. But I don't know about you, but I have a challenge doing things perfectly the first time. So I instead encourage you, hey, leave this send on. Make sure that it's right. Make sure that you did a good job. Make sure that you're ready to send it. Make sure you didn't get interrupted in that. Okay, make sure you didn't get interrupted in that. Really important. So I think that's a trick that I use. It's really important, helps me make sure that I'm doing things right. Sima points out here, some people on the pictures, right, they have the visibility set so only connection can see it. Well, it might be an honest mistake. People are judging us from that. So don't make that honest mistake. I showed you earlier how you can change that visibility. So make sure that you make that different. Okay, make sure you change it as we go. So 5 quick things today. Don't want to take too much of your time today. 5 quick things, right? We talked about those profile changes that are new on LinkedIn. Really good stuff here, right? A couple different changes we talked about there with the pronunciation, with the profile image visibility, all of that. Absolutely. Make sure you make those changes. LinkedIn Live, right? And make sure you apply. If you have a friend, want to be on their show, think of their audience, how you can serve their audience. If you want to be on their show, right? Videos 10 minutes in length, caption them as well as adding some text. Make sure that you're adding a note to your connections. Know that they're not instantaneously like they used to be, and then try to leave a LinkedIn voicemail. Be different from your competition. So with that, let me open up to a couple quick questions here, and I'm going to show you how you can go a little deeper with me. If you have some questions, no charge at all to you. So if you have a quick question, just pop it there about the 5 things that we talked about today. Happy to answer it. When you're done, I'll just pop up the last screen here so that I can give you a little gift here at the end. Doesn't even require sign up, but is, I believe, will be of value to you. Any questions here about the profile changes? LinkedIn Live, other than begging to be on my show, which Dan and Rob already nicely did. Reach out to me, guys. If you have questions about that, if you want to be on the show, you know how to email, Facebook, or LinkedIn me. So, and Sima's begging to be after Rob. Does that mean Dan's first? I'm just wondering. So, great question, Jody. Can you search for who's on LinkedIn Live? I don't believe you can. That's a really great question, Jody. With that, any of your connections that are on LinkedIn Live, you can actually typically get a link that says, boop, in your notifications, hey, Phil Gerbyshak was just live or is currently live. So you can do that. And if that's Dan Matthews, of course, Dan, I love your new book. I'd be happy to talk to you. If that's some other Daniel, then certainly just message me, right? You know how to get me with that. Happy to do that. But yeah, Jody, I don't think you can do that. Yeah, and I'll send the link out in the recap, Roger, of where you can request for LinkedIn Live. I'm sorry that didn't work for you, but I'll send that to everybody, okay? So that you have those that link for applying to LinkedIn Live. Absolutely. Dan, you're a little more about LinkedIn Live. Yeah, good question. As far as helpful, absolutely, it's helpful. A couple ways for me that it's helpful. As a sales trainer, as a sales leader, as someone who works with coaching folks, often the people that I have on the show, they might need some help that I can provide them. So after they spend half an hour or 40 minutes with me, we have a newfound sense of intimacy, and they often share things they wouldn't share, but things that I could possibly help them with or that I could refer business out to. So that's one way to do that. Strategy would be to get on guests that you would want to do business with or that could use your products or services. Another way to do that would be to gather that data, use that to write a book or to use in your outreach. If I talk to 100 VPs of sales on my show, or even 5 VPs of sales, as I'm making my advance, I would call them up and say, hey, I talked with some sales leaders this week, and here's some of the things that they're challenged by right now. Are these anything that you're challenged by as well? And would you like to learn more? And if so, then I might earn a conversation with them, at which case I could uncover some needs and make them an offer to do business with them. So I lead with insight. So those are some strategies. It is helpful though, Dan, absolutely, for sure. Todd says, does posting a link to a live show on another platform worthwhile? So if you're going live on Facebook and you put a link to anything on LinkedIn, I don't find that that's very helpful. LinkedIn typically buries any of those links. But Todd, another way to think about that, though, is if you use a platform like StreamYard, you actually can go live to multiple channels at once. So I go live to my LinkedIn. You go to my profile, you'll see I was actually live earlier today, about 3 hours ago, with Alex Goldfein, talking about his new book, 5 Minute Selling. Great book, by the way. You can see that. And I went to my Facebook page, not my profile, my page. And then StreamYard also offers you the ability to go live to YouTube as well and some other places. So if you have a private Facebook group, you could go live there as well. For $25 a month, you get three different platforms. I'll send out a link to that as well, so you can look at StreamYard if you want. But that does help, but not just posting a link to a live show on another platform, Todd. Good question. Good question. Okay. All right. Well, let me share one more thing with you that might be helpful. If you need some more help, right? If you need more help, there's no charge for this. I offer this for someone here. Just go to 15withphil.com, schedule 15 minutes with me. And let me answer one more question and we'll talk about this. And Terry says, what do you recommend for all the spammers that you meet upon connection? What they try to sell you with their crap? So for me, that is a really, really great question. And for me, my connection strategy is this. If you're a human being and you have a profile picture and you look like someone who isn't going to sell me something, I typically will say yes, but you get one chance. One chance. If you immediately move into a selling mode, I'm probably going to block you. I'm probably going to remove you. I'm not going to do business with you. So that's how that works for me. Now, that being said, often I also might respond with, I had someone last week who said, hey, I'm offering 50% off of my services for people like that. And I responded with, that's fantastic. I'm also offering 50% off of my services on how to sell better using LinkedIn. If you're interested in that, here's a link to my PayPal account and you can pay me. And once you do, we can talk further about how that works. And then I put in a PS that says, hey, selling on connection on LinkedIn never works. Prove me wrong. So that's how I do it with that. So that's usually how I do it. Best ways to use a 300 character connection. For that, Dan, that totally depends, man. So I would say take advantage of the 15 with Phil. I'd be happy to, give a little bit more, a little more custom insight on that so that we can do that. Glad this is good for you today, Rob and Hardy. Good stuff. And Terry, glad you enjoy the tactic and that. Dan, my pleasure for the generosity. And Seema, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for saying I'm brilliant. I'm really glad you all are here. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope this was helpful. Michael, Tom, Daniel, Ike, thanks, gang. Sima, big hugs and kisses to you too, my friend. That's all for today. Make sure you hang out more in the Speaker Tech Tips group. Roger and Cynthia, great to see you as well. Take care and look for an email from me coming very soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.